Alright, welcome to the first version of instructions on the use of orbital dynamics calculations, the series of spreadsheets. The current version for commercial use is version 8.5.1, so that's the one that we'll be using today. I'm going to double click on this file, and since it's about a 15 megabyte file, it'll take a little bit of time to open up. I'll be back as soon as it does. Alright. So now that this file is open, the first thing that you'll notice is there is a disclaimer on the conditions of use of this spreadsheet. Just click OK. It's a standard disclaimer. What it's going to do, it's going to automatically identify the username, place it into the author box, and reference the spreadsheet to this computer. Therefore, it's only authorized on the current computer that you're using. However, if you need to download it once you downloaded and paid for the first version, you can download it onto other computers. It's not a problem. Alright, so first thing here you're going to notice that I haven't updated this delta time section here in a little while. It's currently stating that it's at 10.3 plus days old. That means that from the epoch time, which was taken on September 10th, it's been 10.3 days since that, and it's a little bit old for our purposes. So we're going to click on data refresh, choose the yes box confirming that that's something that we want to do, and it's going to proceed through a series of calculations, going to the Celestrak.com website, updating this information, and bringing it back into the spreadsheet. So the first couple are done. There you can see that the satellites for space stations constellation is now 0.35 days old. I'm going to pause it till complete. It usually takes anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. Alright, now we're back and you can see that the delta time has updated for all the constellations, and you can pull down the entire group. There are 39 of them plus the catalog if you have access to the catalog.txt file, which I'll explain in a further episode. It'll pull down, you can pull down those satellites, and you'll be able to see those satellites right there. One thing I didn't mention is that if you go to the date and time tab, if this is automatically set to calculate GMT offset, and then the spreadsheet, when it opens, it automatically downloads GMT offset and ensures that your computer time, regardless of what time zone you're in, is matched up to automatically propagate forward to UTC, so that when it generates the KML files, they'll be in the correct location at the correct time. Alright, first thing you want to do here, click on this write button, ensure that the default KML path is chosen, double click on satellites.zip file, select open. It'll bring up that zip file. It's a temporary file, just right click, copy it, and go back to the desktop or anywhere else you want to paste it, and paste it in, and paste it back into the desktop, for instance. Alright, so there it is. Now, when you double click it, if you left click into the path box, you'll see the full path. Right click, copy, and go back to the spreadsheet, and in this box right here you want to paste that path. What that means is that the spreadsheet is now linked with that path, and it will be able to save the KML folders and other KML created files into these locations, as well as reference models and other things I've built into the spreadsheet. Clicking back here on left, you'll see some other options which I'll explain in further editions. The main thing here is that if this box is set to stop, it will only generate once. If it's set to run, whatever you have for the refresh rate in the refresh rate pull down box is how often it will refresh. So for single satellites, 2 to 5 seconds is fine. For larger constellations, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever you want, depending on the speed of your computer. As you can see, there's a bunch of different options here. Field review off nadir, we'll set it to 35. Among other things, there are other things that we might want to play around with, and I'll explain in later editions. Hit the left button, and as you can see, there are a number of ground sites pull down options. about 1,500 of them or so in the spreadsheet. For now, we're just going to keep it with the default, which is Colorado Springs, Colorado. So I hit the single button. What that means is it's generating the KML every 5 seconds, and it'll now automatically refresh that KML. Go back to the desktop. It's created a shortcut named Single on the desktop. Double click. It'll open up that Google Earth window, and in a second you'll see what I'm talking about. So it brings it in here. The first thing it's going to do, it'll zoom to whatever that ground site is. So in this case, we're zooming into Colorado Springs, Colorado. Alright, we don't necessarily need to see that. We know what it looks like. So let's open up the satellite, double click, and it will then zoom to the satellite where it currently is right now, within 5 seconds roughly, depending on how accurate your computer time is. And you can see the ground cone is visible. You're going to be able to see all the different options, zoom around, three-dimensional ground cone, and you can see the three-dimensional satellite of the ISS. Every 5 seconds it'll now update. This concludes the first installment of the instructions on the use of orbital dynamics calculations series of spreadsheets. Please come back for further instructions. Thank you.